You're feeling burnt out with your business and you know that something needs to change, but you keep telling yourself, now's not the right time. But if you don't feel that you're worth investing in now, you're still going to be stuck in 6 months or 12 months from now, just more tired. This is the final video in my burnout series for freelance language teaching professionals. So far, we've talked about how burnout is not your fault, though it is your responsibility, and how both internal habits and your business model can quietly keep you stuck in it. So today I want to talk about another thing that keeps people stuck. And it's not a lack of knowledge or motivation, it's the belief that they can't afford to invest in themselves, not just financially, but energetically, emotionally, structurally. Because the catch is, the longer you wait to invest in support, in getting structure, in sustainability, the harder it is to get out of the cycle. So let's talk about why. I'm Rachel Roberts, and I help freelance language teaching professionals build businesses that are profitable, sustainable, and aligned with who they actually are. One of the issues is that burnout messes with your ability to make good decisions, because when you're deep in exhaustion, your brain goes into survival mode and you stop thinking long term and seeing the bigger picture, and you just focus on what's urgent, which is not necessarily what's important. So you find yourself saying things like, I just need to get through this month, or I'll fix things once I've cleared my current workload, or I don't have time to think about strategy now. And this all makes perfect sense biologically and psychologically. But it also can create a kind of stasis or even paralysis, because the more depleted that you feel, the more your vision narrows and the less you trust yourself to make those bold, meaningful changes. Let's be honest, no one ever feels 100% ready to invest, not in money and not in time. Instead, we wait to have more income or more time or more confidence. But there's a paradox there, because without support, clearer strategy, and better structure, those things don't just arrive and land in your lap. And so you stay in that reactive mode, putting out fires. And deep down, more and more you start to internalize the belief that this is just how it is, that it's not possible to make money from a language teaching or training business. But that's not actually true. It's just that nothing changes if you don't change something first. Let's talk now about I can't afford it versus I can't afford not to. And I want to tread gently here, because of course money is a reality and a real constraint for people. And I'm not going to pretend that everyone can or should stretch beyond their means. But we do also have to be honest with ourselves, because often that I can't afford it is actually hiding something else. Maybe that you don't trust that it will work for you, or that you've invested before and you didn't get what you hoped for, or that you don't trust yourself to actually follow through on it. So the unspoken question is, well, what if I spend the money and I still don't succeed? And I get that. That's a completely valid fear. But these fears are not solved by just doing nothing and staying in paralysis. They're solved by choosing the right kind of support for you, something that matches your values and your goals, and by getting really honest about what you're currently putting up with, both the emotional and financial aspects of that, and backing yourself, even if you feel nervous. Because when you stay year after year in a business that exhausts you, underpays you, and eats into your confidence, that is costing you far more than the price of support ever could. Investment isn't just about money, it's about commitment. And when I talk about investing, I don't just mean signing up for a program or working with a coach, though obviously that can be part of it. I mean that investment in yourself. Are you willing to commit to doing things differently? Because if you keep undervaluing your offer, saying yes to every client, pricing based on guilt, avoiding marketing because it feels too exposing, then no amount of waiting is going to fix the problem. You're going to keep landing up in the same place because the system that you're working within hasn't changed. So investing means setting aside time to reflect and plan, instead of always being in reactive mode. setting aside energy to put into building a more scalable model. And that might take some time and effort up front. But if you can trust yourself to take up that time and effort, to have the intention to do things differently, then you're going to see real change and real results. The fact is that you're already investing your time and energy and your money. The question is, what are you investing it in? If you're not investing in support, in clarity, in sustainability, then where is that time, energy, and money going? Usually, it's going into underpaid work with clients who are not really a great fit, chasing clients in a way that's only partially working, like throwing jelly at the wall and seeing what sticks, and constant worry and decision fatigue. So you are already investing, but you're investing into the wrong things, the things that are going to drain you. So imagine if just half of that energy went into building a business that would actually support you, and imagine the returns that that investment would get for you. This might sting a little, but it could also really liberate you. The exhaustion and burnout isn't going to end on its own, and change is not going to come from waiting until the time is perfect or until you feel 100% confident. The first step out of this cycle is choosing to back yourself, to say, I deserve better, I can learn how to do this differently, and I'm not going to build my future on top of exhaustion. You don't have to do it all at once, but something has to shift in terms of your intention. And it starts with believing that you're worth the effort. So if this spoke to you, and if you're ready to stop patching things up and start building something more sustainable, that's exactly what we do in Design to Flourish. It's not just business coaching. It's a space where we can reimagine what your business could look like if you were thriving rather than just surviving. And if that's something that you want, I'd love you to take that next small, brave step, whatever that looks like for you now, because nothing changes if nothing changes. But the moment you change, everything else starts to move too.